2011 was the 5th year for the Traverse Bay Poverty Reduction Initiative's Opportunity Conference in Traverse City. The event attracted more than 250 people, and for about 80% of them, it was their first Opportunity Conference.
Many of them told me that they had heard about it from their fellow community members who said this is worth their while. It changed their life. And I had several people come up to me and say, I had a friend who now has a home who didn't have one. I have a friend who's getting a job or has a job. And so the ripple effects into this community, I think, are profound. And you're really starting to see this level of conversation about possibilities and about really a truly caring community that's really there to make a difference.
Nationally known poverty expert Dr. Donna Beegle was the featured speaker at the Opportunity Conference. She spent years living in poverty, but eventually went to college and ended up getting her PhD. She says education is one of the keys to overcoming poverty.
I think the whole notion of all you got to do is work hard and you'll make it is a real myth that perpetuates poverty in communities across this nation. With the census telling us that 2/3 of the people in poverty are working more than one job and they can't pay their rent. So we have to re-examine that whole myth and say, okay, look at the labor statistics. What does it take for somebody to move out? And not only move out, but stay out of poverty? Well, it's clear. There are two variables. Got to have education, or you got to have a skill. And those are the folks who are able to earn a living wage and take care of their families and really develop to their fullest potential, so that then that ripples into our communities and we have communities we want to live in.
A master's, a doctorate, aren't those for richer people? Not necessarily. And by her showing that kind of initiative and living that and encouraging people, it's getting them out of the negative mindset that could define them for the rest of their lives.
It was really interesting to see that somebody who was, as the Bible says, downtrodden, as Donna Beegle, that she could escape the poverty and really make something of herself, and I'm really proud of her.
Besides education, Beegle says people in poverty need to use events like the Opportunity Conference to develop support networks and make connections with navigators who can help them access the resources they need.
Most of the time, the people who need the resources aren't the people who know about them. So this bridges a gap in connecting captains and navigators, citizens in poverty, with citizens who aren't in poverty, who are willing to call them up and encourage them and guide them to resources and opportunity. It bridges that gap where people get so isolated. So the whole notion of the isolation perpetuates the poverty. You can't think about other possibilities if everybody you know and spend most of your time with are in your same situation.